My name is Rahmana Asian and today we're going to present about water pollution. So, water pollution happens when toxic substances enter water bodies such as lakes, rivers, oceans and so on. This degrades the quality of water and also jeopardizes our health. And some say that more people die due to the unsafe water than in wars itself. So our planet keeps nudging us with increasing extreme droughts, reminding us that water is life. It is one of the essential resources which all living things depend on, and it is very crucial to the social economic development, as well as any energy production and adaptations to climate changes. Nevertheless, we are now facing a very gigantic problem. So now I'm going to introduce you to the 4 types of water pollution that we're going to talk about. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So, going to number 1, groundwater pollution. We humans rely on groundwater for drinking. For some folks in the rural areas, it is their only fresh water to drink. Groundwater gets polluted when contaminants from pesticides and fertilizers to waste leach from the landfills and septic systems which make their way into an aquifer, rendering it very unsafe for humans to use. Ridding groundwater of contaminants can be difficult to impossible, as well as very costly. Once polluted, an aquifer may be unusable for decades or even thousands of years. Groundwater can also spread contaminants far from original polluting source as it seeps into the streams, lakes and oceans. Moving on to number 2, ocean water pollution. Mostly 80% of water pollutions are contributed to ocean pollutions. It originates on the land either along the coast or far inland. Contaminants such as chemicals, nutrients, and heavy metals are carried from farms, factories, and cities by streams, rivers, and into our bays. From there, it travels out to the sea. Meanwhile, marine debris, particularly plastic, is blown in by wind or washed in by storm drains and sewer. Our seas are also sometimes spoiled by oil spills, leaks, and are constantly soaking up carbon pollution. So moving on to our third point, which is agriculture pollution. Agriculture pollution is the top source of contaminations in rivers, streams and lakes. It is a major contribution of contaminations to estuaries and groundwater. Every time it rains, fertilizers, pesticides and animals waste from farms and livestock operations wash nutrients into our waterways. Nutrient pollution caused by excess nitrogen and phosphorus in water or air is the number 1 threat to the water quality worldwide. A toxic soup of blue-green algae that can be harmful to people all worldwide can be grown on the water surface. Alright, going to our last point, sewage and waterways. Wastewater is actually used water that is from our sink, shower, toilets, and mostly from commercial, industrial, and agriculture activities. The term also includes storm water runoff, which occurs when rainfall carries road, salts, oil, grease, chemicals, and debris from impermeable surface into our waterways. So thank you so much and I see you next time. Bye!
Water quality is a term used here to express the suitability of water to sustain various uses or processes. 98% of the water use originates from the rivers and 70% of the water resources are for the agriculture industry. The quality of river water has a significant impact on human life. Humans use river for irrigation in agriculture, daily necessity such as drinking water, transportation, for generating electricity through hydroelectric dams, and for leisure activities. Due to urbanization and modernization, river water pollution is a severe problem in Malaysia and has an adverse impact on the sustainability of water resources. According to the Malaysia Environmental Quality Report 2016, out of 477 monitored rivers, only 47% of the rivers were classified as clean and the rest was slightly polluted, which is 43%, and polluted is 10%. Subsequent monitoring in 2017 shows that the percentage of clean river was declining. A total of 219, which is 46%, of the 477 supervised rivers were categorized as clean. 207, which is 43%, was slightly polluted, and 51, which is 11%, were polluted. The data released by the Department of Environment 2017 were analyzed as shown in Figure 1 and Figure 2. Figure 1 represents three categories of river water quality, and Figure 2 represents river water quality by status from 2008 to 2017. On April 18, 2020, the Ministry of Environment and Water reports on river water quality status. The report was based on the comparison of river water quality at 29 water quality monitoring stations. 8 of the 29 water monitoring stations improved in water quality, the other 8 did not show any apparent changes, and another 13 stations marked as a slight decline in water quality. On average, there was a decrease in chemical oxygen demand, which is COD, and biological oxygen demand, which is BOD, respectively. 5% and 6% respectively. There was also a 1% decrease in total suspended storage, which is TSS. There was also a decrease of around 50% in rubbish collected from Sungai Kelang compared in 2017 and 2018. Conclusion is 53% of the river water quality in Malaysia was categorized as slightly polluted or polluted. High levels of pollution of river water has occurred in states with large number of industrial area and factories, such as in Selangor, Johor, Penang, and Perak. Now let us continue with statistics of water pollution in worldwide. Human waste is one of the most significant forms of water pollution and causes a lack of adequate sanitation, which contaminates water courses worldwide. Worldwide, 2.5 billion people live without improved sanitation. Over 70% of these people who lack sanitation, or 1.8 billion people, live in Asia. Sub-Saharan Africa is the lowest of the world region in achieving improved sanitation. Only 31% of residents have access to improved sanitation in 2006. Last, let us look at the pollution from agriculture worldwide. In a recent comparison of domestic, industrial, and agricultural sources of pollution from the coastal zone of Mediterranean country, agriculture was the leading sources of phosphorus compound and sediment. Nutrient enrichment, most often associated with nitrogen, and phosphorus from agriculture runoff, can deplete oxygen levels and eliminate species with higher oxygen requirement, affecting the structure and diversity of ecosystem. Nitrates is the most chemical compound in the world groundwater aquarium, and mean nitrate levels has rises by an estimated 36% in global waterways in 1990, with the most dramatic increase seen in Eastern Mediterranean and Africa, where nitrate contamination has more than doubled. According to various surveys in India and Africa, 20 to 50% of fuel contain nitrate levels greater than 50 mg per 1, and in some cases as high as several hundred milligrams per liter. Thank you.
Water pollution in Malaysia is mainly caused by agricultural waste, chemical waste, sewage, and trashes. In recent years, the most serious water pollution that has happened is in 2019 at Sungai Kim Kim, Johor. It is due to toxic waste pollution. A total of 1,000 residents fell victim to the pollution, with 8 of them admitted to the intensive care unit. The gas concerned can be absorbed by the human body through the respiratory tract and also the skin. The Sungai Kim Kim crisis is unique because it started with water pollution followed by air pollution. It is usual for factories to discharge their waste into rivers during heavy rainfall to enable the pollutants to dissolve and be washed away with the rushing river. However, of the late weather has been hot, and that was why the chemical waste dumped into Sungai Kim Kim reacted with the water and heat to produce toxic gases that posed a danger to the public. If the chemicals had not reacted, and if it had rained as usual, Sungai Kim Kim's pollution would have gone unnoticed. The Sungai Kim Kim pollution case is an important case to be judged in terms of enforcement and environmental protection. Almost half of Malaysia's main rivers have ended up being polluted due to the lack of effective enforcement action against the polluters, whether at federal level or otherwise. This is why polluters or culprits, regardless of whether they are illegal factories or individuals, continue to treat rivers as their garbage bin. Their actions will cause more of our rivers to be polluted and eventually be declared dead. Ganges River is the longest and largest river in India. However, it is also one of the most polluted rivers in the world. The main causes of the pollution is due to human waste, industrial waste, and religious traditions of the people. Human waste. The river flows to 100 cities with population over 100,000. A large proportion of the sewage water with higher organic load in the Ganga is from this population through the domestic water usage. Industrial waste. Because of the establishment of large number of industrial cities on the bank of Ganga, it is likely to contribute to the pollution of the Ganges by dumping untreated waste into it. Religious tradition. During festival seasons, over 70 million people bathe in the Ganga to cleanse themselves of their past sins. Some materials like food, waste, or leaves are left in the Ganga, which are also responsible for its pollution. Traditional beliefs hold that being cremated on its bank and float down the Ganga will atone for the sins of those who die and carry them directly into salvation. In Varanasi alone, an estimated 40,000 bodies are cremated every year into Ganga, many of which are only half burnt.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Lee Sungwei from PD10. Today I'm going to talk about the effect of water pollution. Nowadays, people are not paying too much attention to the effect of water pollution in our daily life. Let's assume they know about the problem, but they are coming up with many excuses such as not enough time, not their problem, got other organizations handling it, to neglect their duty to take care of our environment. But let me tell you the seriousness of this water pollution. First, the death of the aquatic animal. So how does the aquatic animal die? It's caused by the plastic and garbage that we threw in the sewage of river that will be then carried to the ocean water. We can also see many news or any videos about the animals dying because of eating plastic or having some plastic object stuck in their mouth, causing many deaths of aquatic animal. But let me tell you, that's only the beginning. So, who are eating the aquatic animal? We humans and other animals. For example, where do we eat seafood? Where do we get our seafood? From the ocean. We got the fish, crab, prawn, and others. It does not cause many effect on our human, but it cause many effect on the animals. There's disrupting the food chain. For example, the food pyramid. What will happen if the lower part of the food pyramid is decreasing in number? It will slowly affect the food pyramid on the top. As one of the top predators of the food chain, we are actually consuming those pollutants such as the lead, cadmium, and PFAS. Those pollutants are actually came from the seafood and the water we are drinking. So, in the beginning, they are not seem too harmful for us, but slowly they will be piled up and it will cause liver damage or even causing cancer. So, where does all this chemical come from? It comes from our chemical product or our food packaging that we threw in the ocean water. To put it simple, water pollution is not to be taken lightly. It may not seem harmful in the beginning, but it will surely cost us in the end. So, think about it. What if our groundwater that we use in our daily life has been contaminated, and the ocean water which we swim, dive, or fishing has been covered by algae blooms filled by the agricultural waste, which then create dead zone or low oxygen area, which fish or aquatic animal cannot live and can cause health issue. Do you want to live with the water pollution?
Okay, for the sink, you should try to put filters or traps to trap the food and also oil that you get from the leftover food, because you don't want the leftover food to leak into the water source. And then, if possible, try to use environmentally friendly products when washing or cleaning your clothes and plates. If possible, you should try to have more plants at home because the plants can help us to firstly clean the water sources because they will take in the water sources around your house and they will clean the water before releasing it to the environment. Okay, do not throw plastics or any other rubbish into water sources such as ponds, lakes, and also dams because that will clog up the water source and also pollute the water source. If you see any rubbish or any plastics and other things, please pick it up and then throw it away, or pick it up and throw it at the place where it's supposed to be. And then secondly is when you take your pets to walk, please pick up the feces or the droppings after you have finished the walk because the walkway is used by everyone and you should be considerate for everyone. Okay, so the next one is we should try to service our car at least once a year because the coolant and the antifreeze will leak sometimes if you don't properly service them, and if these liquids leak out and enter the drains, it will be very devastating to the environment. And then also when you wash your car, try to use as little water as possible and also as little soap as possible because when the soap enters the drain, it will also leak or enter the water sources. Secondly is for business and industries. So there's a few steps that business and industries can take to reduce water pollution. Firstly is that you take more precaution or care to use less pesticides and also fertilizers. This is because when you use a high amount of pesticides and fertilizers, it will seep into the ground and then it will flow into the underwater ground sources, and this will pollute the water source. And then next, when, for example, the dobbies, maybe they can switch to biodegradable or less toxic chemicals for the bleach and also the detergents. And then next is for the factories, they should have more filters and more traps to capture the waste and also the chemical cleaners, because with better traps and better filters, they will have less accidents or incidents that these toxic waste will leak into the water source, such as the rivers or other ponds. Alright, for the third one is country. So in my opinion, the country can try to implement better and stricter rules and laws. For example, is the Environmental Quality Act of 1974, where there is a fine of 10,000 or 5 years or both. But in my opinion, that this rule is not strict enough because firstly, it's not implemented or properly enforced. Secondly, I think the fine is too little because I'm sure factories or businesses can afford to just pay the fine and then repeat the same mistake. So I think the fine should be increased to maybe 1 million, and the jail time can be increased. If the fine is a high amount, then businesses will have to think twice before repeating the same mistake. Yep, that's all.